Hello, LTV viewers and friends. You're watching the December 12th, 2025 edition of East End News on LTV. I'm Dara Berger. This is your community and your news. Local as always. This week's top story is the bond vote in Montauk, a success story that will yield many major benefits for generations of kids and teens to come. Christine Sampson reports.
News of the Montauk School's successful bond vote on Tuesday was met with hugs, cheers, and happy tears. With a 66% passing rate, this was Montauk's second attempt at borrowing money to modernize its nearly 100-year-old school building.
I have to start just by saying thank you to everyone involved. Thank you to the Board of Education. Thank you to my community partners. Thank you to the community of Montauk for supporting our school. This is a really special moment in time for us, and we're very proud of today.
The affirmative vote, plus the simultaneous passage of a proposition to allow Montauk to use its capital savings toward the project, was the culmination of a robust outreach process that often had district officials countering misinformation.
We learned from our last time that communication is what we needed to work on. We worked very hard at that, and so did everyone in the community. The word really got out, and the people spoke loud and clear.
The vote tally was 508 in favor and 262 against. This now gives Montauk the green light to borrow just under $35 million. The portable classrooms in use since the 1970s will finally be replaced with permanent structures. An overhaul of the heating and cooling systems is planned. Also on deck are security enhancements, upgraded bathrooms, a new gymnasium, and a redesigned library. And the Fisher House, at times a controversial issue, will be torn down and replaced as housing for the superintendent principal so he and his family can live within the Montauk community.
We are so happy. We're so thankful to the Montauk community. We're so thankful that they invested in the kids and the project. It's a 100-year-old building. We can't wait for the renovations. We can't wait to bring it up to speed. I went here, my children went here. It's the most wonderful place in the world, and it's just going to get better.
Montauk's next step is to finalize the architectural and engineering plans, which will be submitted to New York State for review and approval. This is Christine Sampson reporting in Montauk for East End News on LTV.
A controversial proposal for 79 units of private workforce housing at 3 Mile Harbor Road and West Drive in East Hampton is officially dead in the water after an uproar of opposition from community members who live and work in the vicinity. Kirby McAntonio, a magazine publisher and resident of East Hampton since 1960, had proposed the housing plan to the East Hampton Town Board on December 2nd. He's part of a group of private developers who are willing to build employee housing by asking the town to create a special overlay district at 152 3 Mile Harbor Road and 33 West Drive. But the plan bumped up against massive community outcry, which prompted East Hampton Town Supervisor Kathy Burke-Gonzalez to release this statement. The proposed model does not meet our definition of affordable housing, and placing 79 units at this location would not reflect the character of the neighborhood. No further action is anticipated. Kirby M. Slide Marcantonio told East End News this week that he and his partners are still hard at work looking for suitable sites for workforce housing. He blamed the failure on a misunderstanding that the proposal had already advanced to a final stage, whereas it was only an initial discussion. While the 3 Mile Harbor proposal will not move forward, he said, this is by no means the end of the road. There is still plenty of work to be done. There are some chances that we could be of help, and I certainly respect the process. In other housing-related news, Southampton Town took a step forward this week with a move designed to streamline the process of creating affordable housing. The town created a new zoning classification called a floating overlay district. It will be applied on a case-by-case basis to expedite the building of apartments, condos, and single-family homes under the existing Community Housing Fund program. Councilwoman Cindy McNamara sponsored the bill. She said that Southampton has over 70 stalled proposals for affordable housing units that don't meet the usual zoning requirements, yet have broad support among local residents. In a statement, McNamara said, "The need for this zoning tool became apparent. This legislation will positively impact residents for generations to come." A 70-year-old man is in critical but stable condition after being struck by a car while he was riding his e-bike in Montauk on Tuesday, December 9th. East Hampton Town Police said the accident occurred when a vehicle driven by a 75-year-old Montauk woman failed to give the bicyclist the right-of-way. It happened at 4:38 p.m. on Montauk Highway in the vicinity of Carl Fisher Plaza and caused the road to be closed for several hours. The injured man, who is from the Bronx, was taken by helicopter to Stony Brook University Hospital. Police said the driver remained on the scene and is cooperating with the investigation. No criminal charges are expected. The Ladies Village Improvement Society recently had a history mystery on its hands. Tess Quinlan and Christine Sampson report.
One person's trash is now a historical society's treasure. The Ladies Village Improvement Society in East Hampton recently discovered a special artifact buried at the very bottom of a box of miscellaneous donations. This item, a century-old blue and white ceramic plate, depicts scenes of olden days, including the Home Sweet Home Museum and the Clinton Academy, which now serves as headquarters for the East Hampton Historical Society.
We don't often know where things come from, and in this case, it came in a box, wrapped in a bag at the bottom of a box, and just a surprise discovery. After we determined that we have something that might be special, in this case, Nancy Vermandois, who's the chair of our archives committee, took it to me, and then we take it to the board to say, this is something that surely we could sell in the shops, but wouldn't we much prefer to let the Historical Society have it?
All through our community's history, there's been different times when we've celebrated by making plates and bells and cups and you name it. If it could have a picture of East Hampton on it, somebody in our past has done it.
It turns out the plate was designed and commissioned by Felix Dominy, a craftsman and entrepreneur from a well-known family of carpenters and clockmakers. The Dominy family's roots here date back to 1714. Felix Dominy lived from 1800 to 1868. He and his son also commissioned postcards and other artifacts, many of which were manufactured in Germany and England.
I think one of the wonderful things about our community is the sense of community and the collaboration that all of us working together. The LVIS and the East Hampton Historical Society have such a long history that's so intertwined. Hats off to the LVIS. Great work that they do.
This is Tess Quinlan and Christine Sampson reporting in East Hampton Village for East End News on LTV.
Let's go now to our community calendar to find out what's happening around town.
Montauk is a magical place in the wintertime, and that's what the Montauk Chamber of Commerce is highlighting in its annual holiday fair this weekend on the Green downtown. All day long, enjoy hot chocolate, live music, fine vendors and gift sellers, and of course, Santa Claus. And while you're in Montauk, it's worth stopping by the Bird to check out their wonderfully whimsical holiday decor. Hanukkah begins on Sunday evening when 2 local Jewish congregations will celebrate menorah lightings with the community. At 4 p.m. in Herrick Park in East Hampton Village, Chabad of the Hamptons will light the first light. And Temple Addis Israel will celebrate starting at 6 p.m. on Long Wharf in Sag Harbor. LTV wishes Happy Hanukkah to all who celebrate. On Thursday, December 18th, kids in pre-kindergarten through 2nd grade can dig their fingers into some Play-Doh at the John Germain Memorial Library in Sag Harbor. This classic childhood experience happens from 4 to 5 p.m. and sign-up is on the library's website. The Harbor Bells annual holiday concert happens on Friday, December 19th, starting at 7 p.m. at the East Hampton Presbyterian Church. Hear the lovely, uplifting sounds of the bell choir as it performs cheerful holiday music. Guests are asked to bring a donation for the local food pantry. The Sticks and Stones Comedy Club returns Friday, December 19th to the Southampton Cultural Center. Starting at 8 p.m., the show will feature headliner Olga Namer and fellow comedians to roast and toast the holidays. Tickets are available on the Cultural Center's website.
Let's talk about vending machines. There's one at the Parish Art Museum in Watermill, where you can buy tiny works of art with quarters. And at Cavaniola's in Sag Harbor, you can get charcuterie 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And soon, Southampton residents will have their own special vending machines at the 4 waste transfer stations. They'll be selling the town's mandatory green garbage bags so that people don't have to make separate trips to buy them. Tom Houghton, who oversees the waste management for the town, said this week that the primary goal of the initiative is convenience for residents and cost savings for the town. He first read about the idea of such a vending machine on a news blog called Trixie's List, based in upstate village of Hudson. Like Southampton Town, Hudson requires residents to use specific garbage bags that cost a few dollars each. Houghton told East End News that his reaction to the article was, "Holy cow, that's such a good idea." They'll be up and running as a credit card vendor is in place, starting with the North Sea transfer station. Shops such as independent hardware stores and King Cullen will continue to sell Southampton's green bags. Houghton told us that revenue from the vending machines is largely expected to offset the $68,000 the town paid for them. Town seeks volunteers with the new year approaching. East Hampton Town has put the call for new volunteers to serve on the advisory committee and regulatory boards. There's a committee for every interest. If you're passionate about the environment, there's the Energy and Sustainability Committee. If you are a believer in diversity, equity, and inclusion, maybe the Anti-Bias Task Force is for you. Agriculture and fishing, health and wellness, support for youth, there are committees dedicated to all these topics. But if smart municipal planning, development, and community character are your priorities, maybe a regulatory role on the Planning Board or Zoning Board of Appeals would be a good fit. Anyone interested in stepping up to help out can send an email inquiry to the address here on the screen. Serve, TOEH, at ehamptonny.gov. The winter holiday season on the South Fork is filled with lights, joy, and religious celebration, and so is the LTV Archive. For this week's edition of Inside the Archives, Lisbeth Leone looking back at some of the special holiday moments caught on tape.
Inside the Archive is our weekly look back in time, thanks to the East Hampton Library's Digital Long Island collection. The East End spreads holiday cheer throughout the month of December with many events and celebrations, such as parades and lighting ceremonies. We take a look back at how the East End prepared for the holidays in the past. In a special LTV segment titled The Hanukkah Story, Rosalind Teicher reads the story of Hanukkah and lights the menorah, commencing the 8-day-long celebration.
After driving the Syrian garrison off the Temple Hill, they purged the sanctuary of its desecrations and reinstituted the traditional worship order. On the 25th day of Kislev, they proclaimed an 8-day ceremony of rededication, which became commemorated through the ages as Hanukkah. And we'll just for the moment look at the menorah, and as children all over the world watch, we will light the first candle, which is called the shamash, the leader, the light of the light that lights all other lights. When you put the candles in, it's from right to left. When you light them, it's from left to right. But since this is the first candle that we will light for that first day of Hanukkah, blessed art you, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who performed miracles for our ancestors in days gone by, at this season of the year.
In 2008, Montauk held the first annual Lighthouse Christmas lighting. Locals gathered around the Montauk Lighthouse before dusk to witness the lighting of the landmark. The Lighthouse Christmas lighting remains an essential holiday tradition for many East End locals. In 1990, the annual Santa Parade was held in East Hampton Town. People gathered to watch festive floats drive down Main Street, school marching bands playing holiday music, and most importantly, to watch Santa Claus make an appearance. For East End News, I'm Lisbeth Leone.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of East End News on LTV. We bring you hyper-local headlines through the power of public access TV. I'm Dara Berger. We'll see you again next week.